Hey, what's up, guys? Here to break down the 9-game slate. We got a lot to go over. Let me tweet out my player pool as of right now. Again, a lot of things can change. There's still a lot of injury news, again, up in the air. But let me tweet this out really quick, and then we can get into it. All right. So let's go over all of what we know so far, and there is a lot to again, a lot of news to go over. Kevin Love just got ruled out, so that is pretty big. There is now a lot of value. Okay, let's go to the start here. This is good. All right, that's good. So, all right, start from the top here of the day. Lillard was a game time decision, but he's going to play. Kevin Love, again, he just got ruled out, so Larry Nance is very, very viable now as a value play. LONZO Ball expected to be 25 minutes. I think he's playable at 4.5K. We're still waiting on the Gobert news. This kind of sucks as this is a late game. If he gets ruled out, Tony Bradley is my absolute favorite value play of the day. Let's see, what else do we got? A lot of this stuff. Cam Reddish is out, so Bembry is going to be, once again, a very popular play. I think he's pretty safe at 4.3K. I don't think we can expect that huge upside game like he had last time out, but I do think Bembry is a pretty solid value play. The Orlando guys here, Fultz, Fournier, Nwundu, Isaac, and Birch starting. Blake Griffin is out, so that's obviously a huge boost to Drummond, but there's definitely blowout risk here, even more so now in Milwaukee. We got like everyone in Detroit questionable, so this is kind of tricky, right? Kennard questionable, Derrick Rose questionable. If they both miss, then a guy like Bruce Brown, like Galloway, Tim Frazier, those would be guys we can consider. What else do we got? Hawk starting lineup. Those like the same Knicks starting lineup. That's pretty expected. Kevin Love is ruled out, so again, Larry Nance becomes a pretty solid value play. I'm gonna retweet that, and then. Yeah, that's kind of it for the news. Hold on. Error. YouTube is not receiving enough video to obtain smooth streaming. Let me refresh this really quick. Sorry, guys. Give me one sec. Let me turn off my TV. It says there's bad streaming quality right now. Okay, just turn that off. Hopefully the quality is a bit better here. Yeah, let's go over the over-unders and spreads, then we'll get to the prices, and then we'll get to questions at the end. Again, I'm still kind of working through my lineup just because we have a lot of news to go over. Okay. NBA. The Bulls-Hornets game just got taken off the board for some reason. Heat 76ers 212.5. Spurs Knicks at 218. Raptors Hawks 223.5. Lakers Grizzlies 225. Pistons Bucks 225. Again, huge bullet risk though in this one. Pelicans Jazz 223.5. And then that's it for the over-unders and spreads. So let's talk about these players, right? We'll start with Orlando. Sorry if the stream quality is not the best. Again, I'm getting this error. It says YouTube's not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. As such, viewers will experience bad performance. So sorry if the stream is not the highest quality, I guess. But on the Orlando side, with no Vucevic and with no Aaron Gordon, there is some value plays to consider here. Jonathan Isaac at 7.5K, that's just too much for me to pay. I prefer other plays on this slate. Fournier is okay at 6.4K, but again, I think it is more the value guys I'm considering. So they're starting Kem Birch at the 5. I think he's very, very viable here at 4.3K. I don't think he plays 35 minutes, but I think he probably gets 25 or so. Wes Nwundu is actually starting as well. He's a very, very low usage guy, but a mid-price guy starting. I think you got to consider him. Bamba's okay. I think he's more suited for GPP, so I think the minutes go up on him a bit. And then, Terrence Ross is GPP play off the bench as well. There's just these guys have to step it up here with no Vucevic and with no Aaron Gordon. Streaming quality looks great. Okay. I don't know why I'm getting that error then. Thanks. Thanks, guys. All right. So on the Indiana side, we got Brogdon, I believe, got ruled out. Yeah, won't play. So that's another, Aaron Holiday starting at the 1. But at 6.6K with Jeremy Lamb back, I don't think I want to go there. Domantas Sabonis at 8.1. Really like him. Again, not going to be going up against Gordon or Vucevic. We'll be going up against the likes of Nwundo, Kem Birch, Bamba. So Sabonis, really like the price there at 8.1K. Miles Turner's viable as well at 6K if you want to take the discount off Sabonis, but I think I would rather play Sabonis. Jeremy Lamb's okay as well, 4.9K at 5.9K. Again, these Indiana starters play big minutes. Let's move on to Chicago-Charlotte. So this is a game I have interest in, but only as like a GPP game stack, just because all the guys in this game are very, very cheap, right? The highest price guy is 7.1K. All the starters kind of in that like mid-range, so I wouldn't hate the idea of building a game stack for this game for GPPs just because it's two bad defenses, should be played at a fast pace. Like the guys I have interest in, Devontae Graham, Levine, Markkanen, Rozier, Wendell Carter Jr. I think those are the top 5, and you can easily plug all 5 of those in there. Again, I think this game is more just suited for GPPs. The value plays, I don't think we have to go there in this slate, so it's kind of those main guys, but I don't think I would do it for cash. So like Wendell Carter Jr., Rozier, Markkanen, Levine, Graham, all more suited for GPPs, and I think I would go there only as part of a game stack. As far as the San Antonio side, Spurs are just a team I don't get super, super excited about. I think I've always going to play one. It would be Marcus Aldridge there, 7.2K, but I think there is better plays at their respective prices. So the Spurs in general, I know it's a good spot. It's just, yeah, like Derek White is out. You could look to Forbes and Patty Mills, but they're priced up. I think there's better value plays. So really on the Spurs side, not a lot I'm super excited about. On the Knicks side, it's kind of the big 3 with Morris, Randall, and Barrett. Those guys will play mid-30s minutes in a close game. It's a pretty good match here against the Spurs. They play at a faster pace. I think my favorite target would be Randall here at 6.8K. I think he has 40, even 50 fantasy point upside in this game, so he's someone I'm very much considering. You could buy low on RJ Barrett as well at 5.7. We'll probably play low to mid-30s minutes in a close game. Again, he's been a little bit up and down, but the price is doable. And then Marcus Morris only suited for GPPs. Sorry if I'm going kind of fast, guys, but there's just a lot of news and stuff we gotta keep an eye on here. I'm trying to keep an eye on this while doing this. Let's see. Okay. All right. So let's go to Miami and Philly. So this game, not going to be super, super appealing for DFS purposes, but there are some intriguing prices, like Jimmy Butler in a revenge spot at 8.6K. It's a tough matchup, but don't hate the price on him. He's going to play big minutes in a close game. Again, Bam, I like the price on him, but there's very, very much foul trouble risk going up against Embiid. So, yeah, take that into consideration. I think he stays out of foul trouble. He can have a pretty big game, but there's definitely some risk. And the cheaper guys, honestly, kind of a stay away. Like Nunn's okay, but they got Dragic and Hero they can use. No one really sticks off as a great play to me on the Miami side. On the Philly side, with everyone healthy, normally it's a team I avoid. But there are some, playable price tags here, like Joel Embiid at 9.2K. I think he's more of a 10K player. I know it's a tougher matchup, but I always, like the upside there in Embiid. Ben Simmons seems a little underpriced. Same with Tobias and Horford. All those guys seem a little underpriced. So I'm not like super, super excited about a lot of these guys, but Ben Simmons, Tobias, Al Horford all seem a little underpriced, and Embiid I think it was about $1,000 underpriced. So my favorite play would be Embiid here on the Philadelphia side. But let's move on to Toronto, Atlanta. So on the Toronto side, it's kind of Siakam, Fred VanVleet, and OG for me, and that's really it. So Siakam and Fred VanVleet in a close game will play 40-plus minutes, and it's a pretty good spot here against Atlanta. So no issue with Siakam. Fred VanVleet, one of my favorite plays at 7.3K. He's just too underpriced. Again, we'll play 40 minutes in a close game. I think he's got 40, 50 fantasy point upside in this matchup against Atlanta. So really like Fred VanVleet, like Siakam. OG seems also a little bit underpriced. Again, back-to-back blowouts here where they play kind of limited minutes. In a close game, I think he plays 30 or so. So kind of like OG there at 5.3. The value guys, just don't want to go there. Again, they've been getting more minutes with the blowouts. Guys like Davis, Boucher, their prices are elevated because they're getting more run in the blowouts. Same with Ronda Hollis Jefferson a bit. So no one I'm super, super excited about on the cheap end. It's really OG, Fred VanVleet, and Siakam, with probably Fred VanVleet being my favorite Raptor play. On the Atlanta side, I mean, you could always go to Trae Young and GPPs. He's going to be super, super low owned. So don't hate the shot. Like, don't hate the idea of taking a shot on like a 2% Trae Young, right? We know he's got 50, 60 fantasy point upside. Jabari's okay, but I think I like plays more in the mid-range. And then DeAndre Bembry's probably going to be one of the most popular value plays of the day here at 4.3K. My worry with him last night was Atlanta had a lot of wings they could use. But they give Bembry 35 minutes. So I don't know if we can expect 35 again. I think maybe like 30 or so minutes. And I would not expect 45 fantasy points from him once again. But I think he's a pretty solid value play that probably plays, again, 30 or so minutes and probably gets you like 25 or so fantasy points. So Bembry, again, that was more of an outlier game, but I still think he's a pretty solid cheap play. The other options, I just don't think we have to go there in the slate, like Crab, Vince Carter. It's just not really for me. So it's kind of DeAndre Bembry, and that's it. Trae Young is a GPP flyer. Portland, Cleveland. So now the concern with this game is the blowout risk, right? Cavs are going to have no Kevin Love. Portland does have Damian Lillard. So with Damian Lillard playing, it definitely takes a hit to CJ. I'm off CJ. Scal at 5.6K, at that elevated price, I don't know if I want to do it. Another situation where we saw an outlier game, like I talked about with DeAndre Bembry, right? We're not going to get 50 again from Bembry. We're definitely not going to get 50 again from Scal. But I think if he starts, probably plays 25 to 30 minutes and can get you like 25 to 30 fantasy points. So I wouldn't be super, super excited about Scal. I wouldn't chase it. Again, that was more of an outlier game. And we have Lillard back in the lineup. There's just more usage to go around. Melo at that price, probably don't only go to this part of a game stack. And again, with Lillard back, that's a hit. It's just, on the Portland side, there's not a lot to be excited about with Lillard playing. On the Cleveland side, so with no Kevin Love, he's now out again. Tristan Thompson is very viable here at 6.1K. That game blew out. He only played 26 minutes, put up 28 fantasy points in that time. Again, Portland is one of the worst rebounding teams in the league, so I wouldn't mind taking a shot there on Tristan Thompson, but there is some blowout risk. And then Nance, obviously at 5K, going to be starting. That's a big boost to him. In that game against Miami, he played 35 minutes, got 37 fantasy points. He is a guy that will fill up the stat sheet, and they kind of need him to play decent minutes. And again, Portland, a very, very bad rebounding team. So Nance, Tristan Thompson are kind of the main targets here for me. The guards, it's kind of a pass. So really, again, it's Nance and it's Tristan Thompson on the Cleveland side. Last three games here, we got Lakers, Memphis. On the Lakers side, you could go LeBron, AD. I have no issue with them. Again, a little bit of blowout risk here. The Lakers are playing really well. It is a back-to-back too. Again, both those guys seem pretty safe. So no issue with LeBron, no issue with AD if you want to go there. McGee and Dwight are guys I look to with Anthony Davis out. With him playing, don't want to go there. Rondo's a pretty appealing value play here at 4.9K. Got ejected in that last game, so only played 18 minutes. I think he plays like 25 or so minutes in a close game. So I think he's a solid value play. Kuzma, a little too scoring dependent, kind of burned me. Don't know if I want to go there. And then the cheap guys like Danny Green, KCP, I just think there's better value plays on the board. So that's kind of it for the Lakers. On the Memphis side, honestly, it's kind of Ja Morant for me, and that's it. Like, he played 35 minutes in that last game. Now, if he's going to continue to play those type of minutes, you got to consider him. It is a tougher matchup, but at 6.7K, I think he's fairly priced. JV, Jaren Jackson Jr., it's just, again, the Lakers run big, but it's a bad spot. They seem priced accordingly. There's some foul trouble risks, so not super, super excited about a lot of these Memphis guys. I think it's Ja Morant, and that's really it for me. Now we get to Detroit. So this is the big question mark. Let's see if we got any more news here. Again, this is going to be a tricky slate because of, the two games that we're waiting on news are the last two games. Pacers will start Holiday, Lamb, Warren, Sabonis, Turner. Okay, we expected that. Yeah, so this is why this slate is really tricky, right? Because there's so much up in the air here for the Detroit side. Let me refresh this. So, because some of this injury news is not coming up right now on the Detroit side. Okay, so we got no Blake Griffin. So it's obviously a huge boost to Andre Drummond here at 8.3K. He should be able to crush. The offense is going to run through him. The concern is the blowout risk, right? But I still think Drummond could get you there in like 3 quarters. So really like Drummond here at 8.3K. The only downside with him is the blowout risk. Luke Kennard and Derrick Rose are both questionable. If they both miss, Detroit really doesn't have a lot of healthy bodies. So Langston Galloway, Bruce Brown Jr., Markieff Morrison had to play more minutes with no Blake Griffin. Christian Wood's been a guy that's been crushing in limited time. Now, They don't play him alongside Drummond a lot, so there is some worry with the minutes, but I think he could probably get to 15 or 20, and he can get you there in that time. So I do like the upside in Wood. The concern with him is just whether or not he gets the minutes. Markieff Morris, my best guess is he moves into the starting lineup. Don't hate him as a value play. Tony Snell's out as well. So again, they're going to be really thin. Like Svi Mikhailuk might be asked to play big minutes. So this will be something we have to monitor. But again, it's really tricky because these are the last 2 games of the slate. So that's why it makes it difficult. Now, again, if Kennard and Derrick Rose both are out, I think Bruce Brown Jr. would be my favorite Detroit value play, followed closely behind like Christian Wood. I just gotta hope, I hope Christian Wood can get like 20 to 25 minutes. If he can, I think he can crush that salary. It is a revenge game too. It's just, Detroit doesn't like running Wood alongside Drummond too much, but at that price, he's been playing really well. So I might just take the shot on Wood and hopefully he gets the minutes. So really for me on Detroit, it's, Drummond at the top. There is some blowout risk. If Kennard and Derrick Rose are both out, I think Bruce Brown Jr. becomes one of my favorite value plays. And then Christian Wood, too. I might just take the shot there and hopefully he gets the minutes. On the Milwaukee side, I mean, it's really the top 2 guys, and that's it. Don't hate Brook Lopez. I mean, Detroit does run big, so maybe he gets a few extra minutes. Bledsoe and Giannis. It's just whether or not you think Detroit can keep it close. Detroit, not the best team, and they're missing a lot of pieces. So there's a very, very much blowout risk. I think a lot of people will take that in consideration and will fade Giannis. So I think Giannis, you could get him at like 5%. Now, anytime you can get a low Giannis for GPPs, that's not the worst thing, right? So if your guy is making multiple lineups, maybe throw Giannis in there 1 and just hope Detroit can keep it close. Because if they can, we know Giannis has like 70, 80 fantasy point upside. Again, the same thing concerned with Bledsoe at 7.6K, just whether or not you think Detroit can keep it close. The value guys, I mean, with Ersan out, there may be a few extra Mets go do like Brook Lopez, like Robin Lopez maybe, but it's not a lot to get excited about. Like DiVincenzo seems priced about right. So really for me, it's Giannis and Bledsoe, but there's definitely some concern there with the blowout. Last game, Pelicans, Jazz. So still no Derek Favors. I think we're still waiting on the news of Jahlil Okafor. If both those guys miss, Hayes and Melly will be asked to play some big minutes. But on this slate, I think there's probably better value plays. Lonzo intrigues me at 4.5K at 25 minutes. I think he can probably get me like 20 to 25-ish fantasy points. Don't think he's like the best value play, but I think he's worth consideration. Like Ingram and Drew, it's a tricky spot because it's a bad matchup, but if the Pelicans are going to keep this close, those 2 guys are going to have big games. So not a lot I'm excited about on the Pelican side. Again, at the top, it's Ingram and Drew Holiday. I think it's low-owned plays. I think I might consider them for like the late slate. And the main slate, don't know if I want to go there. Hayes and Melly are okay, but I think I like value plays more in other games. And Lonzo also is intriguing at 25 minutes, but that's really it. Lastly, we got the Jazz. So Gobert, this is the big news, listed as questionable. What was an ankle injury? So if he misses, Tony Bradley is just an absolute the best play in my opinion. I'd assume he starts. If he doesn't start, then he'd be a bit riskier. But this guy, in the summer league, if you guys watch my videos, then I was all over playing him. He was great. Whenever he gets minutes, he's pretty productive. And if Gobert misses, I think he probably gets at least 25 minutes, maybe a little bit more. So it'd be one of my favorite value plays of the day there at min price. They're pretty thin up front if Gobert misses. So they might have to use Jeff Green at the center. They used him a bit at the center during the season. So he would be someone that would also get a boost. So Jeff Green and Tony Bradley would be the value guys. I think I would slightly prefer Tony Bradley to Jeff Green. As far as the spend ups, Donovan Mitchell and Conley would be my main targets. It's a great spot. Pelicans played at a really fast pace, and potentially no Gobert. That's more usage around. So Mitchell, Conley at the top end, Jeff Green, and Tony Bradley, especially Tony Bradley in the low end if Gobert does miss. If Gobert plays, I think I like him at 8.8K, but again, we probably won't get that news before lock. So let's see if we can get any more news here. We don't have anything else out yet. We got 20 minutes to lock, so let's try and answer some questions here. Again, if you guys are enjoying the content, would really appreciate if you hit that like button. We're almost 100 viewers here on Saturday. That's not bad. But let's see. Graham or Aaron Holiday. I think I would go Graham there. Aaron Holiday with Jeremy Lamb back. Don't think we can expect that 50 fantasy points again. How do we feel about Butler? I think he's very much playable at 8.6K. It's going to be a good game to watch. I don't know necessarily if it'll be a good game for DFS purposes, but at 8.6K, I think Butler probably plays close to 40 minutes in a close game. It's a tough matchup, but don't hate him. Has Wood always been a GTD? I think he's listed as probable, right? Yeah, they have him listed as probable, so I assume he's good to go. White or Bembry, since they are at the same price. White. Wait, we're talking Derek White? I think Derek White got ruled out, right? Oh, no, he is start. Oh, wait, hold on. Where's Derek? Will start. Okay, will start. I think I would still go Bembry there, but don't hate Derek White. Butler or Sabonis? I got to go Sabonis just because the price at 8.1K and he's not going up against like Gordon and Vucevic. I really like Sabonis there. Ball or Augustine? I think I'll go Lonzo. But don't hate Augustine either, right? Him and Fultz are going to have to step it up with all those guys out. What are the minutes of Etuan Moore and Melli if Hart and Okafor plays? Yeah, if Hart and Okafor play, I don't even think I would consider Etuan Moore and Melli. White is starting. Yeah, White's starting. He's, what, 4.3 against the Knicks. I think he's definitely playable as a value play, right? I think he probably gets 25 or so minutes. If Gobert's out, that changes the whole slate, in my opinion. This can be close and faster, right? Yeah, well, definitely. And then Tony Bradley would be like the best play of the day. So I'm still trying to build my lineup right now just because we're waiting on a lot of news. So this is a tricky slate for sure. Wendell Carter and Nance at the same price at Yahoo. Which one should I go for? I'm going to go Nance, but it's close. Graham, cash viable. We're talking about Devontae Graham, right? I don't think there's another Graham in the slate. So I don't know if he's cash viable. I guess he is. I like that game more as part of a game stack. So cash viable is fringe worthy for sure. But man, this slate it's tricky because there's a lot of good value plays now potentially. Do we risk Radion Gobert? I mean, it's up to you. How safe do you want to play? If you're playing cash games, I think no. I think you go with a more safe approach and just build around and hopefully Gobert plays. But for GPPs, again, I think Tony Bradley could smash. So Alex Caruso's out. Rondo is doubtful. Quinn Cook? Wait, I don't see Rondo doubtful. Did that just come out? I don't see Rondo doubtful. So, yeah, I think Rondo's going to play. I think that could be hashtag fake news. Hope Lillard dropped 60-plus in the Cavs. So, again, the concern there is there's definitely some blowout risk. No Kevin Love and Lillard playing. You got to take that into consideration. But, again, there's blowout risk in other games, too, like Detroit, Milwaukee. So, this is a really, really tricky spot here, guys, because we're probably not going to get the Pistons news before lock, and we're probably not going to get the Pelicans news. So, it makes for a really, really tricky spot. Rondo's in, yeah. Like I said, I'm pretty sure Rondo is playing. I'm a little torn on what to do here because, yeah, sorry guys, I'm still trying to build my lineup as well. Let's check out some news. Fantasy Labs says Rondo is rest candidate. Okay, so Anthony Tolliver will start for the injured Hassan Whiteside. So that's like a slight downgrade to Scal. I think Scal will still play big minutes, but again, I don't think we can expect him to get like 50 fantasy points again. Yeah, I like Christian Wood a lot. It's just whether or not Dwayne Casey gives him the minutes. They don't play him a whole lot alongside Drummond, but he's been playing really well, so I like him, but there is some risk with the minutes. Gobert will smash if he plays, but putting him in utility spot for late swap potential, yeah, that's not a bad idea at all. Again, I kind of have Tony Bradley in my utility spot and just kind of hope Gobert doesn't play, but this slate's kind of a headache, to be honest. Yeah, let's see, we got 15 minutes to lock, guys. So any questions, feel free to. Oh, Bulls. Oh, Bulls start Stan Ramsey, Harrison, Levine. Okay, so they're starting. I thought they weren't starting Levine at first when I first looked at that. Let me put up Fantasy Labs and just so we can keep the information up here. I'm also trying to reply to you guys on Twitter as well, so there's a lot. Thanks a lot. Yeah, of course, man. Thoughts on Jackson Hayes? I think I would only go there in the late slate. I do think he'll probably be asked to play big minutes if Okafor is out. But again, that's on the assumption that Gobert plays. So it's tricky. My brain hurts laughing my ass off. Yeah, this slate it's really tricky for sure. What would you rank each position? I don't know what you really mean by that. Kennard, Wood News is killing me. Come on now. Birch. I think Birch is playable at 4.3K for sure. He's definitely viable. If Gobert is out, bump out Conley. Bump to Conley or Bogdanovich. Well, you really just bump up everyone, right? And I think Tony Bradley would then become the best play of the day if he does start. Him and Jeff Green will get the more minutes. And then I think my main targets would be Conley and Mitchell. Birch or Minu. I think Birch just because he's starting, right? But again, you got a lot of good value plays, right? You got the Pistons guys potentially. You got, Tony Bradley potentially, Jeff Green potentially. So I think if I'm building a cash lineup, I go with the value that we know is out there right now, right? So the value we know is out there right now is like the Orlando guys. Like Birch, I think, is a pretty solid value play. I think Nance is a pretty solid value play. Bembry. So those are the value plays we know that are like going to play decent minutes. The ones that are up in the air are the Detroit guys and the Pelicans guys. So I'm only playing tournaments tonight, so I'm taking the risk on playing these guys and hopefully like those other guys get ruled out. Just because I really like the upside on like Tony Bradley, on Bruce Brown Jr., on Christian Wood. If Gobert's out, who do you like besides Bradley? So it's Bradley and Jeff Green will probably split the center minutes. Again, yeah, they don't have a whole lot of bigs, so Jeff Green will play a decent amount at center. And then it's Conley and Donovan Mitchell as the spend-ups. Top guards, I mean, again, it's hard because it's dependent on news, right? So, I mean, I like Donovan Mitchell. I really like Fred VanVleet. Some of those value guys, the Detroit value guys, it's kind of tricky to break down when, like guards, let's see. I don't think I would go Dame and CJ, even though it's a good spot. There's definitely some blowout risk. Trae Young only for GPPs. LeBron seems pretty safe. Donovan Mitchell in a really good spot. I kind of like him. Fred VanVleet, I really like him. The Chicago-Charlotte guys, I think I would only go there as part of a game stack. John Morant, if he plays 35 minutes again. Don't mind RJ Barrett. And then it's just like the cheap play. So, again, sorry if I can't give like a great answer, guys, just because it's just a really tricky slate. So Wood or Birch and Cash. So right now, from what we know, in cash games, I think it's got to be Birch, but I just love the upside in Wood. Now, again, the concern with Wood is they don't use him a whole lot alongside Drummond. The minutes, there could be a chance like he only plays like 10 to 15 minutes, but man, if Wood gets like 25 minutes, I think he just crushes that. It's a revenge game too, so it's whether or not you want to take the shot on the potential of Christian Wood playing limited minutes. But I really think if he gets those minutes, he could crush. So that's up to you. I'll leave that decision up to you. I think Birch, I guess, is more suited for cash games. Scal or Bruce Brown, again, dependent on news. If Galloway or if Derrick Rose and Kennard are both out, then Bruce Brown is one of my favorite value plays. Siakam and Fred in the same lineup, yeah, I think that's viable. You got to hope Atlanta keeps that close, though. Dillon Brooks or Crowder, I would go Crowder there. Don't feel super great about either, but I think I would go Crowder in that situation. Well, let's see if we got any more news here. Heat will start. None. Butler, Robinson, Leonard, Adebayo. Okay, so that's typical. Is Wood and Andre in the starting lineup all right? Yes, 100%. Now, the downside with Andre is the potential blowout risk. But I still think, even with Blake out, I think Andre could probably still get you there in 3/4. So, yeah, right now, with my current build, I have both Andre and Christian Wood in my lineup. So I think it's very, very viable. Scal's okay. I just feel like we're kind of chasing at that price. At 5.6K, we're getting a premium. I think he had an outlier game. I don't think he's the worst play, but again, I think you're kind of chasing, so I might look elsewhere in Scal. I don't hate the play, but definitely not my favorite play. Do you like McConnell has value? That's an interesting play because I think he probably can play 15 to 20 minutes, but on this slate right now, I don't think I want to go there just because the potential of other value plays being really good. LeBron DeRozan or LeBron Aldridge. I'm always going to slightly lean towards Aldridge over DeRozan, so give me LeBron Aldridge. Best utility, 4.6K or less. Again, guys, I'm going to talk with a lot depending on news. Sorry if I keep repeating myself, but that's just the case with this slate right now. So 4.6K utility. Don't mind Lonzo. I think Birch is a solid value play. Bembry. And then we get to like the cheap guys. Because we can't get Bruce Brown at 4.7K. So yeah, I think it's Birch. I think it's Bembry. Those guys seem pretty solid. Don't hate Lonzo either. And then Christian Wood if you want to go cheap. Again, the concern with Christian Wood is just whether or not he gets the minutes. Right? Like if he gets like 26 minutes, I think he can crush there. So that's the downside with him. Yeah, we got about 5 minutes until lock. Thank you. Yeah, of course, man. Again, that's a close call with Aldridge or DeRozan. It really is. Like I don't feel great either way, but I'm always going to lean towards the big guy just because they have the higher floor. Is Duncan Robinson playable? I don't think on this slate. I know he's been playing decent minutes, but I just think there's better value plays at 5.5. Yeah, I don't think we have to do that. Let's see, anything else news-wise? Nothing yet. Who's your core player tonight? Again, it's a lot depending on news, but I will say I really like Fred VanVleet at that price, and I think Drummond, even in a blowout, can probably get me there. So I would say Drummond and Fred VanVleet, and then the value plays kind of up in the air, right? If you're going more of a cash game play, just because a lot of the unknowns, I think you play the guys in the early games. So those cheap guys in the early games are like Larry Nance, Kem Birch, those Orlando guys, right, including Kem Birch. And then, who else? There's one other guy, I think. But, yeah. Think they'll play Wood and garbage. Yes, Wood will definitely get garbage time run. Mitchell or DeRozan. I'm going to go with Mitchell just because I like the matchup a bit more. DeRozan's in a good spot too, but I'm going to go Mitchell there. Tristan Thompson, very, very viable. Again, Portland is one of the worst rebounding teams in the league. So thoughts on this, DK? Dame, White, Butler, Markkanen, Drummond, Bembry, Nance, Birch. Don't have issue with that. Yeah, I think that's okay. Ross, Sabonis, or Brow and Lundo. I'm going to go Ross Sabonis there. The Pacers guys will play big minutes in a close game. Again, there have been back-to-back blowouts. 8.1K seems a bit underpriced right now for Sabonis, and he's got a good matchup. So I do like Sabonis a good amount. Ross, with all those guys out, should be asked to do more. So I'm going to go Ross Sabonis there. Yeah, really, I can't remember a slate like quite like this with all this stuff up in the air. I think I'm going Bembry, Derek White, Ingram, Sabonis, Nance, Mitchell, Butler, Bradley. If Gobert's ruled out, I will switch around my. Yeah, I think that's a pretty solid strategy. Fading the Detroit guys, well, potential Detroit guys. So again, it's why it makes it tricky. If all those guys are out for Detroit, I really like Bruce Brown Jr., some of those other value guys like Galloway and Svi Mikhailuk, maybe Tim Frazier would be playable, and then Christian Wood and Markieff Morris. So I think fading the Detroit guys is pretty risky with the potential of Kennard and Derrick Rose being out. Sorry guys, if you're I'm just on my phone because I'm trying to reply to people on Twitter too. They're asking a lot of questions. I want Rose Sabonis with that Chicago Charlotte game stack you mentioned. Seemed like some sort of known plan. So again, the Chicago Charlotte game stack, I currently don't have it because I'm a one lineup guy, but I think it's doable just because everyone's cheap. It's two bad defenses going up against each other, so don't mind those guys. And then Sabonis and Ross, I think are definitely viable. Yeah, I don't think we're going to. Bruce Brown Jr. will be on the floor at least 30 minutes and close to 40. Yes, 100%. That's what I'm saying. I currently have. So I'm building my lineup with the assumption that Rudy Gobert is out and with the assumption that all his Detroit guys are out. So right now, currently in my lineup, I'm taking the risk. I have Bruce Brown Jr., I have Christian Wood, and I have Tony Bradley with the assumption, hopefully, that all those guys are out. So I'm taking the shot. If those guys are in, I'm going to have to do some rearranging, but that's a risk I'm willing to take in tournaments. So good luck. Yeah, good luck, guys. This is a really, really crazy slate for a Saturday. That late slate will be interesting. I'll probably enter that a decent amount since we will get that news probably later on. Same. Come on, let's hope for Bradley season. Yeah, exactly. Tony Bradley would be my favorite play, definitely. If this sucks, yeah, it's a tricky slate. Like, it's a very, very risky slate. I don't think I would play a lot of cash games on the slate, but yeah, that's kind of how it goes sometimes. Thanks, bro. Of course, man. Again, it's a really, really tricky slate. So hopefully we get that news soon with the Detroit and not the Pelicans, the Jazz guys. But yeah, any last minute questions or also hop off. Again, if you're an NFL guy, I'm gonna have that my breakdown of that slate up later tonight. Be on the lookout for that. Good luck, boys. Thanks, DK. Of course. Thanks, guys. Let's take a look at the NBA slate tomorrow. Probably gonna be a small one. We got 5 games with that Mavs Rockets game. Probably won't be included in the main slate. So I think 4 games for the NBA slate tomorrow. We can go over some ownership too. At least the guys that I played in the early games. So I played Sabonis at 12%. I will take that all day. I also played Levine in there just because he was the last fill-in guy for my lineup, and don't hate the spot there in a low-owned game in a good spot. So I went Levine and Sabonis in the early game. Sabonis 12%, Levine 9% in this $44 tournament. Let's look at some other ownership. McConnell came in at 21%. That's kind of high. I get the play for sure, but that's higher than I thought. Devontae Graham 6%. Again, I'm kind of scrolling through lineups, seeing what other ownership is. Kem Birch is 16%. Again, Sabonis 12%. McConnell 21% in the $44 tournament. That definitely, I didn't think it would be that high for sure, but I get the play. Getting Bradley after lock with so many probable, didn't do the mind of the risk. Book it, LOL. Yeah, like I said, I'm taking the shot. So I currently have Bradley, Bruce Brown, and Christian Wood in my lineup. Sabonis less than 15%. Yeah, you got to love that. Again, it's always Sabonis season for me. You just got to hope the match can keep it close. There is a little bit of blowout risk in that one as well. If you don't take a risk, you won't. I truly love your show. Of course, man. Hey, I really appreciate that. Thanks, man. 0.61 marked in the big slate. Don't mind that. Again, those Chicago-Charlotte guys, I have interest. I played LaVine in my lineup. He was the last fill-in guy, but 9% for him. Don't hate that. Exactly, LaVine bounce back spot. You're kind of buying low. It's a good spot. It's a good matchup. So we'll see how it goes. Try to look for other ownership in the $44. Wes Nwundo was 13% owned. Let's take a look at the $10 owner or $10 GPP, the big one. Sabonis at 14%, LaVine at 9%, so kind of the same. I'm guessing those Magic guys will probably be higher owned in this one. Not saying they're bad plays, I just think they'll probably be a bit higher owned. Bridges, 8%. Sabonis. I'm trying to find the Magic guys in this one. Miles Turner is 10% in this one. Sabonis super low in my cash games. Let's go. I think the only real downside with Sabonis, honestly, is the potential blowout with the Magic not keeping it close. But I do like the price on him a decent amount. It's always Sabonis season. Wes Nwundo is 13% in this one. Ken Birch, 17%. Yeah, so that's all okay. So definitely, guys, it's very important to keep track of the news. If you don't follow me on Twitter, that is really important. I will try to give my updates as we get the news throughout the rest of the night. Again, we're waiting on a lot of the Detroit guys. We're waiting on Gobert. So a lot of things that could change the slate. LaVine, 3.2%. Yeah, I like that. You are a true Mitch. Thanks for all your help, of course, man. Rozier, 3% in mine. Yeah, so the Chicago-Charlotte game, again, I didn't build that, but I don't hate that game stack for GPPs if you're making multiple lineups because everyone's mid-priced and there's a lot of upside there. So, yeah, don't hate that at all. But I think I'm going to hop off here, guys. Again, I really do appreciate all you guys coming to check out the stream. I will be, again, the NBA video will probably be up later tonight as well as the NFL. But, yeah, that's it. So thanks, guys. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you tomorrow. Let's see, turn this up.